Welcome to Heal the World Show podcast, brought to you by the Healing Institute. I'm Parmelia Parham. I'm the founder and the CEO of the Healing Institute, and we are an online, worldwide platform of holistic practitioners. We are out to heal and provide holistic ways of being well and staying well to the world. That is our mission. And we are so excited to be able to do that and to really make an impact on health and healing. You know, we're all in a health journey, so let's make it a proactive health journey. And I have been using holistic ways of being well for over 30 years, so I know that it works. And all of our practitioners get to the root cause of what's happening, whatever the issue that you might have, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, they get to that root cause. And I think that's one of the reasons that our medical model we've had for 50 years is not working anymore, because we only dealt with symptoms. We didn't deal with the root cause. Was causing those symptoms? So I'm just so delighted that the practitioners that we have on our platform on the website are available to do that, to get to the root cause with you. All of the practitioners have a 30-minute complimentary consultation, so you can connect with them and have a chat with them and find out to see if it's a good fit, because that's definitely one of our values. We want to make sure that's a fit for you, a fit for the practitioner, a fit for the company. So, one of the reasons that I created the Healing Institute was because we did have a tragedy in our family a number of years ago. My mother died at a very young age. She was only 61, and it was due to complications with a medication that she'd been on for over 20 years. And not once did her doctor ever say that, hey, we should maybe check your kidneys and see how they're working. So, unfortunately, she got very, very ill just before Christmas. I was 5 months pregnant with my son, and she passed away on the 15th of December. And I say it's not only a tragedy that she died at a young age, but my children did not get to meet their grandmother. And I really don't want that happening for other families. So that's my passion, to educate people around health and healing, and that's one of the reasons I called the Healing Institute an institute, because I am passionate about educating people. And each week on Heal the World Show podcast, I invite a practitioner, a healer, someone to come and talk about their area of expertise. This is actually our 124th episode. I've been doing this for 2.5 years, so I'm just so delighted today to have Maureen Ewing here with us. Maureen is a havening practitioner. She's many things, leadership facilitator, educator, and a havening somatic practitioner. And today we're going to be talking about manifesting meaningful relationships. I always like to theme my podcasts, and because it's March, I decided March was going to be Manifesting March. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to be talking about manifesting meaningful relationships. And you want to stay to the very end, because we are going to be doing a havening somatic uh, practice at the end. So don't go away. Welcome, Maureen. It's so wonderful to have you here today.
Thank you, Permelia. I'm really excited and grateful to be here.
And this is really cool. I'm on Vancouver Island, and Maureen is here also in British Columbia, Canada, in the big city of Vancouver. We call it across the pond, but that doesn't happen so often that we have two Canadians that are on the podcast. So that's so delightful. I'm going to have to make it over there one day so we can meet for lunch
And
and
I'll have to make it over there, which I will.
yes, definitely. Most definitely come to the island for sure. So Maureen, tell us a little bit about havening. I don't think a lot of us know what that is.
No, and thank you for the question, Permelia. And you even mentioning Canada is interesting because havening is probably less known in Canada than anywhere else.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Well, we're going to educate people
yeah,
today.
yeah, yeah. Like it's popular in the States, it's popular in Europe, and that's part of my job too, I suppose, marketing and
Mhm,
expanding the awareness in Canada as to what it is.
mhm.
And I also have a colleague and practitioner in Sydney,
Oh,
Linda
fabulous. I'm not.
Mers.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Sydney is on Vancouver Island, just
Yep.
about
So
2 hour
she and
drive
I
south
work
of me.
closely together. So in answer to your question, havening, fairly complex, but let me simplify it because it
Mm.
really is rooted in neuroscience very, very intensely. And what impresses me about it is that we have a lot of healing modalities that tell you why they work and what they do, but they
Mhm.
really don't give you a lot of supporting science and evidence as to
Oh,
why that happens.
yes. Yeah.
So havening actually began in 2001
Oh,
with
so it's fairly new.
it's very
Yeah.
new.
And
With
just so you know, I love to know the science behind what's going on.
well, and I'm an academic as
Yes.
well. I was really drawn to it. And so started in 2001 with Dr. Ron Rudin, who also has a twin, Dr. Steve Rudin, and both of them are medical practitioners. And Dr. Ron Rudin was introduced to EFT,
Hmm. Yes.
emotional freedom techniques. And he was skeptical, So a friend of his, Dr. Paul McKenna, asked him if he'd read the book Healing with Tapping.
Hmm.
And of course, the answer was no. But being curious, Dr. Ron went out and started testing it on people with phobias
Ah,
because it's very trauma informed, just
yes.
as tapping, for those of
Right.
you who are familiar with it, is. And he tried it on professional colleagues
Hmm.
with fears and phobias, and boom, got rid of it right away. But he couldn't understand why.
Ah,
So he started delving into the science very deeply and brought us a lot of information, which is now actually being used in the tapping community as well. So
hmm.
the first training for havening practitioners was 2013.
Oh my gosh.
So
So
it's
that's
even newer than you
newer than,
think.
yes, for sure. Yes. Is that when you found it and joined and became a
I
practitioner?
began relatively early, yes, through my colleague Linda Mers. She did it immediately around the beginning, and I followed in about 2016
Hmm.
and was blown away with the results because I'm a skeptic as well. But if we want to go very simply into the neuroscience, so it was initially developed for trauma,
Hmm.
the healing of trauma. And so if we think of ourselves, and practitioners with an energetic background will understand this, is that all the information we get and take in from our environment is through our senses and actually also somatically.
Right.
So the information comes in as electrical and it gets transformed into chemical when it goes through the
Ah,
brain. And
yes.
then the brain starts doing its thing. And amazing. So with trauma, what happens is there's a piece of the brain called the thalamus,
Yes.
which is like the post office sorting piece of the brain.
Oh, I love that
I
definition.
know, I love that too. And so what happens is we take in information through our experiences, and if it's nothing to us and we've got a very resilient landscape, as we call it,
Mhm.
the information simply goes up to our cognitive area and starts fiddling around with it and making meaning and sense of it. But if someone has trauma encoding in the downstairs part of the brain, the amygdala,
Mhm.
there's an alarm that goes off, and the information just goes short circuits and goes right down to that place. And that's where the trauma actually gets encoded and linked to the memory. And what's happening there, again, I'm going to try to simplify this, is the neurons are speaking and communicating with
Mhm.
each other through the neurochemicals. And when trauma is involved, our brain waves are at a very high level, 30 to 100 hertz.
Wow.
And they activate these neurons downstairs in the amygdala in order for the trauma to be encoded. And I cover the chemistry and all of that in introductions, I do. But the I call it magical, but unfortunate thing is we've got receptors down there
Mhm.
called AMPA receptors, and they pop up like weeds. And then there's a glue that keeps them in place. So then what happens is that whenever we get another experience that is similar or triggers that last event, those receptors stand on guard for protection because we're wired for
Oh,
safety, right?
right. Yes. So a question is coming to my mind
Yes.
about, because I love the way you talked about the thalamus and then the amygdala, because of
Yeah,
those, with the body code that work that I do,
sure.
I work with the nervous system, which includes all of that.
Yeah,
Um, and so when someone is been traumatized and our amygdala, which is our, fight, flight, freeze,
exactly.
um, so by using the havening technique, how does that relate to uh, maybe short circuiting is the right word, or not?
Great question. So yes, we want to
The
know
amygdala,
how it
yeah,
works.
yeah. So that the trauma isn't being relived,
Exactly. So what we're doing when we're doing practicing havening
right?
is we're going to attack those AMPA receptors.
Ah,
And
okay.
what we want to do is de-link the event from the memory. So
Oh, yes. Okay.
it's a de-linking process. So let's say now we've got the trauma activated and encoded. So what happens with havening is we're applying touch,
Ah,
soothing touch to the face,
mhm,
the arms, and the hands. So if I'm working with someone who comes to me with complex trauma or trauma, and they don't even need to tell me what it is, they
mhm.
just need to
Oh, I love
reactivate.
that. I,
They
I
don't
love
have to
that.
talk about it.
So they
It
don't
can
have
be
to relive
content
it.
free.
Yes,
And so
that's
they
so
bring
important.
the memory to mind, visualize it, and in the process of doing that, it activates those AMPA receptors. And so once those AMPA receptors are there and activated, what we can do is now I get a subjective unit of distress, like how stressful is that event
Hmm.
for
Hmm.
someone, and then start working with the havening. And we can do it as I'm doing it now virtually,
Hmm.
or we can do it person to person, and I can be applying the
Right.
touch. So their memory is activated, and then we use distractions like humming,
Ah,
singing, telling stories, remembering joyful experiences.
mhm.
And in the course of doing that, we're not on that traumatic memory anymore.
Right.
And we're applying the touch. And as we're applying the touch, what we're doing is bringing in delta waves
Yes.
that are
Okay.
at 0.5 to 4 hertz. And with those waves, we're slowing everything down as if we were in REM sleep.
Mm.
And as we're doing this, we're actually releasing cortisol, serotonin, not cortisol, I'm sorry, serotonin,
Serotonin,
oxytocin, and
the hormones that make us
gamma,
feel
yeah.
good, the
So
good feeling
what
hormones.
those are doing is
Hmm.
they're going through that complex system in our brain and they're attacking those AMPA receptors.
Ah,
So they're attacking them and actually releasing proteins and enzymes so that they become unglued and they retreat back into the system. So once that's achieved, like I can go through 2 or 3 cycles, keep going back to,
mhm,
okay, where are you at now? You were at a
mhm.
10, now you're at a 6, maybe you're at a 0. And then there's other protocols I won't go into detail with, but we've deactivated those AMPA receptors. So what's happened now, we've decoded the
The trauma.
traumatic event.
Yeah.
So I may still remember what happened, but I have no emotional connection,
I love that
no
there.
emotional
Mhm.
connection to it. So it that's it, quite simply. And it can happen in minutes. It can happen in sessions.
Mhm.
And beyond dealing with the trauma, we
Mhm.
can also use it to build resilience, growth, and potential in individuals,
Oh,
which
that's fascinating. I
is
love
where I
that.
love to
So we're
work.
being proactive.
We're being proactive. But if somebody's got residual trauma and maybe
Mhm.
they don't even know it or remember it,
Yeah, they probably don't remember it. Yeah.
then the havening practices helps to regulate the system and go into the parasympathetic system for all the good stuff that can happen.
So, yeah.
Because if someone is not feeling safe, there's no way that they want to go into recall of the
Oh,
memory,
no, exactly.
which is
Exactly.
why we can work with it talk free. It's a psychosensory
Yes.
therapy.
Yes.
Like I was listening to someone the other day on a tapping summit, and it made all the sense in the world. Like we can talk about talk therapies
Hmm. Hmm.
and a lot of other therapies that use talk but don't use sensory
Yeah. Right.
information. And our brains can work really hard to rewire and
Hmm.
reframe. And I've just seen a question from
Yeah.
Marie, and
I
yes,
just want to, yeah, I was just waiting for you to take a breath.
yeah,
So
no, it's okay. So
I want to acknowledge that we
thank
have
you.
two wonderful people in the wings today. Marilyn, who is Maureen's sister. So welcome, Marilyn. It's wonderful for you to be here. And Marie
Marie,
Piplimick, who's one of our practitioners with the Healing Institute. And Marie is a conscious breathing facilitator, and also she really helps. She has a program that helps women who have experienced burnout. So Marie does have a fabulous question. Is havening an offshoot of another practice like tapping? Well, that is a really good
it
question.
is.
Yeah.
That's where it began. That's where Dr. Ron's curiosity was stimulated because he tested it and
Hmm.
found it worked. But
Right.
then why? What's supporting the way that it actually works? And then when we delve into Dr. Ron and Dr. Steve's brilliant research around the brain, that's when it all makes
That's
incredible
when it made me.
sense to
Yeah.
me and is why I believe in it so much. And I can work with it in different ways, bringing in, as many of the practitioners do, they bring in hypnotherapy, they bring in tapping,
Hmm.
EMDR, the
Yeah.
eye movement thing,
Right.
and bring it all together to work with it. Or some people are more purists and stay with the havening because they found they get the most expedient results with it.
Hmm.
And the fact that the patient client doesn't have to talk about it. They don't have to think and go, oh,
Oh,
I don't remember. They just need to bring it up and get that somatic
yes.
feeling in their body, and then we can work with it.
And the other question that Marie had is there a specific touch routine or techniques that are used? So we know with tapping, there's a certain routine that you follow. So with havening, is there a specific touch routine? Do you do, your arms first and
Good question. That's the really nice thing about it is there's no prescription. And it's
mm,
whatever the client feels comfortable with. Arms, as long
mhm.
as it's arms, face, and hands. And actually, when we're doing it on the face, that's when we get most of the electrical stimulation happening, but it doesn't have to be.
Mhm.
And if somebody's missing an arm or they've had a stroke for whatever reason, there all are alternative ways to apply the touch. So, Marie, good question. No, it's not prescripted.
And
And the
yeah,
client can do it with
with
and on themselves
on themselves. So that
or
answers her other
self-havening,
question. Um,
self-havening, or facilitated havening, where I would be face to face with
right.
someone and applying touch. But maybe somebody's not comfortable with me touching them.
Yeah. So they can do it themselves.
And so they can do it themselves.
Her other question is how do they bring it up if it's in the subconscious? So if they're not verbalizing the trauma, how
That's
how do you
where
know that it's
that's where we take the talk out and it can be content free, but just okay, somatically imagine that anxiety or that feeling within
Mhm.
yourself. And lots of people, you're right, they don't remember, they don't know, or they
Mhm.
may have an inkling, but they don't know exactly what happens. In fact, I worked with a woman, I think it was last year. She'd had a fair bit of trauma in her life, and she was actually also a healer. But the specific event, she did not recall until the age of 50.
Wow.
And
I've heard
then
that
it
happens
came
often.
barreling out of the door.
Mhm.
And then she sought deeper
Right.
therapies. And she came to me with something. She dealt with the emotional stuff, so to speak,
Hmm.
and she had done some havening, but she came to me to work with a physical manifestation
Mm.
that
Yes.
was encoded in the
Mhm.
trauma. And I wasn't even sure it worked until she left. And then she came back to me and she said, unbelievable. This is the way I'm feeling. This is what's transpired. And my chiropractor cannot believe it.
Wow. Yes. I mean, I love that about the body code too,
Mm.
because all we're looking at a chart of 60 trapped emotions, and I'm just muscle
Ah,
testing and
yeah,
finding out which trapped emotions need to be released. So the my clients then don't have to verbalize it. They sometimes don't even know. And I will often ask, do we need to know more? And if I get a yes, then we find the age that that trapped emotion showed
oh,
up.
wow.
And then they're like, oh my gosh, that might trigger some kind of a memory or
Yeah,
some kind of, not unnecessarily even a memory of the event that caused that trapped emotion.
exactly.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
just a feeling of, yes, I wasn't safe. And then we release it out of the subconscious and voila, it's gone.
amazing. Permelia, that sounds like a really good marriage to
It
Haven.
does. Yes,
Like
yes.
based on principles, they
Hmm.
work in a similar way. And now with havening, I can go through the science as I would and
Yeah.
understand how all of that works because a lot of people, even practitioners, they kind of go, oh, like I've worked with somatic practitioners who some of the practices they go, that's a little too woo-woo for me.
I don't think there's anything too woo-woo,
I
just
know, I
between you and
know.
me.
So on the face of it, that's
Yeah.
right. And
So
the
then how can it be woo-woo when it's based on science?
well, the thing is, we haven't had enough research to concretely explain it. And
Yes.
they're still doing it. Like I remember studying neuroscience of learning when I was working with adult education
Mhm.
years and years and years ago, because I was fascinated. But I got a better understanding of how the brain works,
Right.
but
Yeah.
not the whole neurochemical, neuroelectrical circuitry works.
And of course, we are always getting new science to understand how our brain works, and to understand how there's a correlation between our gut health and our brain health, how the heart works. The heart is
Yeah,
really the brain. It's telling the rest
exactly.
of the body what to do. Um, and Marie's got another great comment. She says, it also sounds like a form of energy healing.
Yeah.
which it definitely is, right?
It is in that field. Like when we look at the
Mhm.
tables for psychosensory techniques,
Mhm.
energy is certainly included with that.
Right.
And there are some therapies that include the mind, so working with the mind, and other practices like yoga, and such that work with movement and
Right.
physicality, but have nothing, well, they do have something to do with the mind,
Yeah, it
but
all connects.
not consciously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I think that brings us to the point where we could actually do a little practice as you had suggested.
sure.
So let's go ahead and do that.
Okay, so I'll enter the practice by saying I was focused on manifestation.
Mhm.
So the subject of manifesting and manifestation, I actually had to look it up because I went, oh, you manifest this all the time. But what is it really?
Mhm.
And if we think about manifesting those things we bring to life in our world,
Right.
it's the practice of bringing an idea and a desire into a physical reality
Yes.
and then
Yes.
expressing it through action. And the interesting thing is, our brain doesn't know the difference between reality and imagine. That's why we
I
can
know.
work with it, right? So, in this practice, what I was thinking about, like this is in the realm of positive affirmations
Mhm.
as we use them, and to be very mindful of the fact that many people, if they've been significantly traumatized, will not be able to do this until they get to the state where they're downregulated and they've dealt with trauma. But still, something is better than nothing.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
in practice here, I'm going to suggest you get very, very comfortable. Try to erase all of the whatever of today. And we're going to use the evening touch on our face, our arms, and hands, or whatever you're comfortable like with. It's not prescriptive. So what I would invite you to do is close your eyes if you're comfortable with that and bring to mind, visualize something that's important to you, something that you want more of in your life, something that you want, or maybe you already do express it in your life. And right now, I'm going to go with joy because that's something that I manifest quite a lot and very well. So bring to mind something that you want to manifest, something you want to bring more of into your world. And in relation to relationships, obviously, there's a connection there in terms of what you're connecting to with another person or another thing. So just get it into your mind, feel it. Maybe it's got a color.
Mm.
Maybe it's got a color. Mine is actually red. And maybe it's got a temperature. So right now we're working somatically. And just get as clear upon that as you can. Maybe you're in a wide open field with a big blue sky and you're feeling abundance. So we're just going to repeat. So for me, and you use whatever word or thing you want to use, I am joy. And I keep havening while I'm doing this. I am joy. I am joy. I am abundance. I bring joy to most everything that I do. And it leaves people feeling happy and okay with themselves. I am joy. I am joy. So right now we're stimulating those delta waves that are sending messages all through our brain and making new connections. I am joy. And maybe I don't feel strongly enough that I am joy. What if, what if I were joy? What if I were joy? What would be possible? What would be possible? What if? And then I am joy. I am joy. I am joy. And then just bring your palms down to your legs or wherever you want to rest them, and gently open your eyes and come back. By the way, that was very abbreviated.
But beautiful. I do love the concept of having that affirmation and saying that as you're doing the touch. Yeah, it's
Well,
very
this
powerful.
way we're actually encoding it
Yeah, yeah.
physically, somatically, brain.
Hmm.
And at some point, it's a reality. And then
Yes.
I can go out in the world and manifest joy as I want it. Maybe I can't right now. Maybe I'm not safe enough. And then we go down a few steps to regulation and event havening.
Beautiful. I love that. Thank you so very, very much for giving us that practice and also introducing us to havening because
I'm happy to.
I hadn't heard. I think you and I met a little while ago, and I think you told me about it, and I didn't really know that much about it. So I'm just so delighted that you were here on the podcast today to explain it and to demonstrate it, because I think it is a very powerful modality, most
It
definitely.
truly is. Like the skeptic in me, when I was doing my case studies and working on it to get my accreditation, I'm like, ah. And then I came up with this, like, I don't really want to deal with anybody that's got deep-seated trauma. And the interesting thing, it always came to me.
Yeah,
Didn't matter. Everybody's got trauma of sorts.
something. Yes,
So,
absolutely.
and it's such a simple practice. And the idea that you don't have to talk about it
Hmm.
and that it's not prescriptive, the client's leading the way and you're just
Yes,
following along and doing what you can to help everything evolve or unfold as you're
yes,
developing those neural pathways.
yes. Which is
Oh, and just by the way, Pramelia, Marie, Marilyn, and anybody who's listening to this recording, uh, my intention is to do an introductory session
mhm,
free on havening at the end of the month, if I can get the ad up early enough.
mhm.
And you can get that on havening.org.
Havening.org. Okay. We'll
Havening.org.
put
In
that in
fact,
the
with
chat.
for anybody that's interested, I highly recommend going to the website. It's not a particularly well-designed website because it was built by scientists, but it's got lots of useful resources, information, events, finding a practitioner,
And
and
you are on this site, right? You
I'm on
mentioned that
that site.
earlier. So
And I'm also
havening.org. Okay.
yeah, and I'm also an accredited trainer to
Beautiful.
certify people to become practitioners.
Well, let us know when you've got everything ready because we can start to showcase that as well for you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And also anybody wanting to pick up on the free 30 minutes.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. How long would that session be, Maureen?
Oh, the introductory?
Mhm.
About an hour and a half.
Okay. Okay. Just so people know,
Sure, about an hour and a half
about an hour and a half.
with a
Okay.
demonstration. And it goes into more detail
Right.
around the science
Yeah.
because there is so much more.
Beautiful. Well, we have a vision with the Healing Institute to create a community of health practitioners so that you are covered, whether you can, whatever your concern might be, we can help you with that because we really like to meet our clients' specific needs And it's not a one size fits all. We definitely meet our clients' needs and have that conversation with them to make sure that we can assist them in whatever way they possibly need. Our motto is service with love, and we have a big ask. Please let your community, your family, your colleagues know about the Healing Institute and our amazing practitioners that are on the Healing Institute, and how we can help you with your health and healing, so that we can be as healthy as we possibly can, and also be in service for our world and our country. So thank
And
you again.
well, thank you for all that you do, Permelia. I'm so impressed.
That's wonderful. I appreciate that. Definitely. So yes, we'll be back next Friday on the Heal the World Show podcast. And we look forward to seeing you then.
Thank you.